Last month, I found myself in a situation that was pretty unusual. Things in my life had lined up to create an incredibly stressful few weeks, and my usual escapism just wasn't hitting right. Video production was wearing me out, cooking shifted instant noodles, and my aim in CS was worse than usual. Despite the obvious need for a break, I'm not very good at taking them, so my compromise was table everything else and start researching for the next video. I've been trying to branch out more this year, which has come with mixed experiences, so I'm very happy to say this time it actually worked out. I found the Gemporium demo just before the release date and finished it that night. It may not have had everything I typically look for in a game, but the gameplay was so good, I found it hard to care. Plus, look at this little guy. Easy day one purchase. I've been really looking forward to talking about this, so no more intro, no spoiler warning, let's go. Thinking about the games I've made videos on so far, story has been a central focus. If vibes are the initial hook, it's the story that I'm never going to shut up about. I'm so sorry to everyone around me. It's not that I can't enjoy a puzzle or a competitive game, in fact I love the social aspects of the latter. When it's just me though, my mind tends to wander. The inevitable why am I doing this checks happen, and I need something to latch onto or things go downhill fast. What's interesting about Gemporium is that never happened during either of my playthroughs. Despite the bare-bones story and soundtrack I swapped out within a few hours, the game kept my full attention. There's something so satisfying about the process of mining and refining gems. It's quick but requires thought, soothing but never mind-numbing. I can only imagine the back and forth that went into keeping it fresh throughout the game. In the beginning, it all feels so precarious, especially when you factor in the time limit. Everything feels like it's one pickaxe swing away from breaking, and I got used to the sound fast. As if that wasn't enough to worry about, the limited backpack space makes every gem attempted matter even more. Running back to drop off your haul or bailing on a gem that's not going well takes away from that fleeting amount of time before the shop opens. You're not mandated to go to the shop every day, but with the limited amount of customers in the beginning, it feels about as optional as drinking water. Between learning the systems and earning enough for upgrades, the early days really flew by, but built my confidence in the process. For me, the timer felt less intimidating when I understood how to get gems out quicker and could afford upgrades like improved pickaxe strength or actually owning a drill instead of smashing every other gem. Customers seem to like that too. The upgrades are nice because they're just affordable enough to start unlocking early, but not so cheap or overpowered to dull the experience. On average, I had enough for an upgrade every few days, which really felt like the perfect pace for a smaller game like this. Around the end of the first week, I took a bit to reflect and thought, I made a good choice with this one. Merge Conflict Studios made a fun little loop that fits the cozy game category perfectly. I could see myself playing this game to completion even without the most engaging story. Pretty high praise for me. It was starting to get late though, so I figured a few more days and I'd probably call it there. Wait, that's weird. This is a new game that I'm having fun with, and I'm going to bed early? That might sound like personal growth, but trust, that ship sailed long ago. The truth is, I was still missing something. Even if I didn't actually abuse my sleep schedule, I wanted the temptation. I guess what I'm saying is, I want to yearn for the mines. And almost as if the game was reading my thoughts, on day 7 the yearning became mandatory with the introduction of this guy and the hell world Grand Mole left us in. See, this whole time we agreed to watch over her shop with no knowledge of the $1 million debt looming overhead. Earlier I said Gemporium doesn't have much of a story. Well, here it is. You visit your Grand Mole only to find she's unexpectedly away. She asks if you can run the shop, and sure, why not, right? Everything's so weird though. She sold her tools, took her bed, and seemed so nonchalant about the actual loan shark harassing her grandkid. I'm kind of glad her role is minimal throughout the game because I don't like her very much. Of course, that feeling pales in comparison to how I feel about this guy. I hate this guy. I keep broken, unrefined gems to sell him anytime he has the nerve to show up in our shop. Thankfully, there is one beacon of hope in these dark times. Pietro. I love Pietro. He's the best security rock we could ask for, even if he does fall asleep during a shift. I couldn't do it without you, buddy. From this point on, we're expected to make payments every 3 days, and it slowly gets more expensive over time. Cozy games, am I right? To be honest, yes. Remember, I started this whole thing because I was stressed and needed some escapism. Sure, the pace feels a bit relentless, but I always felt like I had the tools to get through it. By the time I unlocked the auto refiner and discovered the unending power of haggling, everything fell into place, and I was looking forward to round 2. Before starting my next run, I wanted to see what the community had to say, but I was surprised at some of the responses. Would you believe me if I told you not everyone finds the frantic debt repayment sim relaxing? In retrospect, maybe that shouldn't have surprised me. People were very split on the best way to enjoy the game. This kind of situation honestly feels like a nightmare to balance, but credit to the studio, they found ways to tweak the pace of the game without ruining the core experience. As of writing this, there are 2 additional modes to change the intensity of the game. There's Cozy mode that removes the stress of time, and Reduced Debt Payment mode, which maybe I don't need to explain that. It's great seeing this level of responsiveness and commitment to the community. The game hasn't been out that long, but there have been quite a few updates to make the game as optimized and fun as possible. I did try both alternate modes, and while they may have felt a bit more Weenie Hut Juniors to me, it's still fun to dig up gems, time limit or not. When it comes down to the core of the game, they really nailed it. Gemporium ended up being such a good experience for me. Going off description alone, I would have assumed it's not my kind of game, so I'm glad the art style caught my attention. It's also nice to find a new studio that I'm optimistic about the future of. I wanted to keep this just about Gemporium, but I'd be remiss not to mention the first game the studio made, Refresh. It's a platformer, so the gameplay is quite different. The story really didn't do anything for me, but oh my god, it's so fun. There's this time trial mode at the end of the game that I had to uninstall the game for a bit because I needed to do other things instead of grinding that. The studio has a tower defense game coming next, which might remedy this whole story thing, or maybe it'll have a great story. I don't know. But either way, I'm excited to talk about it whenever that comes out. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.